left on the Earth as on Azeroth as an actual way to get back and forth into Deepholm. So here you can see a little schematic of the layout of what we're planning for Deepholm. There in the center is a Temple of Earth, which is actually it's an important place in Deepholm. It's a central location. It's now overrun by Twilight's Hammer, and that's basically where Deathwing was kind of nursed back to bring him back to the state of what he needed to be to break back into Azeroth and cause the Cataclysm.
I guess now, just to throw out a detail, like Corey's saying, the Twilight's Hammer now serves Deathwing, and we've really revamped that world group to be very, very scary. They're pretty badass. So.
And you're going to see Twilight's Hammer all over. They've definitely spread out all around since the Cataclysm has hit, based on them working for Deathwing.
And they'll have more than just a couple of lean-tos to hang out in.
Yeah. So Deepholm is a subterranean-looking environment, so it's almost going to feel like an enclosed cave, but it's huge. As far as scale goes, it's probably the biggest zone that we're building for Cataclysm, especially since it's going to be the hub of all 5 of the new zones. We're going to allow flying in there, even though it's going to feel like an interior. You're going to be able to fly with your flying mount. As we mentioned, this is basically, after Deathwing kind of went crazy, ended up here, and this is where you're going to get to play through and figure out the story of kind of how he's gotten back to where he is now. The Temple of Earth in the center is also going to play a huge part in that role. And like we mentioned, this is the central hub. So there's actually going to be portals in Deepholm that will take you to Vashj'ir, to Hyjal, Twilight Highlands, and Old Doom, and you'll be able to go back and forth between those as a quick form of travel. So here's a couple of concept shots of Deepholm. Like you said, it's kind of definitely got a subterranean feel to it. Looks like the Trogs made it back. So this is a great shot because I think it really helps explain kind of that image of Deathwing breaking through the ceiling of the elemental plane of Earth and actually transitioning straight back into Azeroth. So Old Doom. Old Doom is a zone I think that everyone's talked about for a long time, and we've always really wanted to get to Old Doom, and so it feels great to be able to do it not only as a zone, but we're also going to be doing 2 dungeons for Old Doom as well that you'll be able to get to from inside. And we always wondered kind of what was there to the west of Tanaris. Now we finally figured out there's no coastline, but Old Doom's there. So here's a picture of the layout for Old Doom. So kind of what, if you want to get kind of a quick overview of what it would feel like, you can imagine Egypt a little bit was a little bit of our basis. It's a desert-like zone. There's a huge river that flows down the center of it to the south, ending in a delta. Those aren't necessarily pyramids. They're temples that were created by the Titans, and they've been here for a long time. And no one was ever able to get into Old Doom because it's been hidden. There's basically a Titan machine that's put up a projection so no one could actually see Old Doom or gain access to it. But with the advent of the Cataclysm, it actually destroyed one of the Titan machines and has ended up revealing Old Doom to everyone. So you know Bran Bromspear is going to be the first one here, for sure. So another thing about Old Doom that's kind of interesting is there's been rumors going around for a long time and it's kind of spreading throughout the land of that Old Doom has always been rumored to hold a giant super secret weapon, and everyone really wants to find out what this is. The Alliance wants it, the Horde wants it, Twilight's Hammer wants it, and it's going to be your job to get over there, quest through it, and kind of figure out exactly what that means and figure out the story behind that. Give you a little hint.
Can we call it the Old Doomsday weapon?
We can.
Sweet.
We're also going to be introducing a new creature race in Old Doom, and it's called the Tol'vir, and it's actually going to be a race of stone-like cat people. It's kind of the best way to describe it. You're going to see them throughout the zone. This is their homeland, and so you're going to interact with them here. Similar to what things you've seen that we've done before in other zones where we've introduced a new race and they kind of have a home zone. This will be that place here for the Tol'vir.
And just to throw out, Corey, one of the ideas is that the kind of rise of Old Doom and the fact that it's even open right now is actually relative to Ulduar, right? And all the raids and dungeon component, the storyline playing out up in the north of Northrend has essentially created a sequence of events, right? That will result in some even crazier stuff far down the line for Azeroth, but you know, Old Doom and its fabled super weapon are all kind of part of this larger Titan storyline that Alex has been developing with fervor.
So here's a couple concept pieces for Old Doom as well. So you can really see it's got that, we really wanted to get that vibe and desert culture, a desert place, but it's also got life in it also. It's not going to look the same all around. So Mount Hyjal. So Hyjal is a zone that's been in the game for a long time, and we're finally able to do what we want to do with Hyjal. I think this is the Hyjal that we wanted to give everyone for sure. So I think everyone knows where Hyjal is. So basically, Hyjal is under siege, and we've basically got to get in there and figure out what's going on. Hyjal is under siege by Ragnaros. He's basically opened a connection from the elemental plane of fire and basically sent his army through to lay siege to Hyjal and burn the world tree. That's his goal.
And just to put that in context, right, when we play Molten Core, when we essentially take out Ragnaros back in the day, like, we pretty much banished him back to the plane of fire, and he's pissed.
Yeah.
Right. So...
It was too soon.
Right. Yeah.
Too soon.
Way too soon. So you can see on the layout here to the south of Hyjal, that's the section where we created a whole new landmass there, and that's where they've come through. You're going to quest through all that. Now, that doesn't mean that Hyjal doesn't have anything to help it out. Malfurion Stormrage is actually back. He's woken from the Emerald Dream. And the Barrow Dens below Hyjal and the armies of Cenarius are going to be here, help trying to defend the World Tree, and you're going to get to play a part in this whole storyline through the zone.
And you know what? While Ragnaros is pissed, Malfurion's pissed too. So he's going to get it on.
Oh, well, there you go. So one last thing to comment on here in Hyjal is Dark Whisper Gorge. We're actually going to make a part of Hyjal as a zone. Dark Whisper has been pretty affected pretty seriously by the Cataclysm, and it's now basically been occupied by Twilight's Hammer. So it's going to be a completely new flow in that area. It won't just be great for mining anymore. So here's a couple shots of the World Tree in Hyjal. So Hyjal is an example of a zone that we're actually going to really be able to use the new terrain phasing on. Working as you quest through the zone, things are going to be burning and on fire, and part of what you're going to be doing is trying to stop that. Here's a shot of Dark Whisper. And then here's a shot of the area where Ragnaros is coming through the elemental plane. So we'll finish up with Twilight Highlands. Twilight Highlands is going to be just east of Wetlands, and I think you guys know what exists there now. It's the city of Grim Batal. That's what's there now. Grim Batal, though, actually has been sheared in half. So when Deathwing came out from Deepholm, he basically went on a path of destruction across Azeroth, and you're actually going to see that the scar that he's left across the terrain as he made his way back to Grim Batal. And he actually lands and ends up here, and when he came down, he's actually just so powerful. He's burning molten hot. He just cuts a line, a hole, a crack